and the hand feature that are on the screen. If you can't see them, you need to run your mouse over the bottom and it'll pop up, or you need to just touch your screen if you're on a touch screen somewhere around the bottom, and those things will pop up. There's a little balloon that says chat and a little hand that's raised and said raised hand. Chat is where you will type in your questions if you have any questions. And when we have motions, we ask if you are opposed to the motion, please raise your hand. It is a little different, but it is easier to count when we're doing things virtually if we go to opposed instead of all in favor. With all those little housekeeping duties done, we'll call the meeting to order. And we need somebody to adopt our agenda. Do we have somebody? Okay. So Kendra has made the motion and Brenda has seconded it. If there is any I just lost it. Wait. I think I'm now unfrozen again. So hopefully you can hear me. We'll now ask Tara to read the minutes of the last meeting.
The 74th Annual General Meeting of the Churchbridge Credit Union was held on June 29th, 2020. The meeting was held virtually via Zoom with 39 members and 2 non-members logging in. President Wendy Lutz called the meeting to order at 5:10 p.m. The agenda was presented electronically. Minutes, motion by Brenda Becker, seconded by Kevin Popp to adopt the minutes of the last Annual General Meeting held April 29th, 2019 as presented by Tara Lauer. Carried. Wendy addressed the suggestion to look into finding new auditors and explained the audit process to the attendees. President's report was presented by Wendy Lutz. Management discussion and analysis was presented by Ryan Tibbett. Auditor's report presented by Mandy Price from Baker Tilly. Financial report presented by Mandy Price from Baker Tilly. Motion by Kendra Patswald, seconded by Janessa Leipert to adopt all reports as presented. Carried. Appointment of auditors, motion by Kendra Patswald, seconded by Lois Labacane to appoint Baker Tilly as auditor for 2020. Carried. Election report. Kevin Popp presented a report on the 2020 elections. 1 position was open in the Churchbridge district and 2 in the Langenburg district. Wendy Lutz was re-elected by acclamation in the Churchbridge district. Howard McCullough was re-elected by acclamation in the Langenburg district. And Judy Miller was elected by acclamation in the Langenburg district, filling the seat of Robert Rathgaber, who retired from his position. Long-term service award presentations. 5 long service awards were presented, along with biographies for each recipient. Clarence Lindstrom, 5 years, presented by Shelley. Lois Labacane, 10 years, presented by Andrew. Connie Ohm, 25 years, presented by Ryan. Wendy Lutz, 20 years, presented by Ryan. Cal Swanson, 10 years, presented by Ryan. Question period. No questions were presented through the Q&A feature. Door prizes will be drawn on June 30th, with members being contacted via telephone. Adjournment. Wendy Lutz adjourned the meeting at 5:55 p.m.
Okay, if there's any business arising from the minutes, can you please use the chat feature to type in your question? If we don't see any chats, could we please make a motion to adopt the minutes of the meeting, of the last meeting? Lois has made the motion. Can someone second it, please? Janessa has seconded it. If you are opposed, please raise your hand. Oh, I'm still getting. Seeing no, it's carried. We'll now have the president's report.
Okay, what can a person say about 2020 that hasn't already been said? What a year. We started the year off with excitement and big plans for celebrating our 75th anniversary, saying goodbye to Perry and welcoming a new CEO. Unfortunately, we had to downgrade our plans. We did celebrate our 75th in a small way. We said goodbye to Perry and welcomed Brian to our organization. Like many other credit unions in the province, we saw lower loan demand and increased deposit growth. Interest rates have lowered our margins and made for some interesting times. Fortunately, we have managed to stay in the top percentile overall in the province among credit unions. We continue to do well and we're able to continue our member profit sharing program and our community initiative program. We use these two programs to celebrate our 75th anniversary. We hope to continue these programs into 2021. The staff have seen many challenges and changes over the course of the year. Some went to working from home, while others have had to wear masks most of their working day. You can still see the smile in their eyes when you enter the credit union. That is, if you ever enter the building. Thank you to the staff for a job well done under trying circumstances. The board also had to adapt to different ways of meeting. We have had virtual meetings as well as distance in-person meetings wearing masks. Our new board member, Judy Miller, had a different board experience than everyone else. Thank you to the board for continuing your dedication to planning for the future. We will be saying goodbye to two board members, Rodney Flunder and Calvin Swanson. Thank you for your years of service. We look forward to welcoming two new members from the Churchbridge area. Thank you, the members, for continuing to support us. Without you, there wouldn't be a credit union.
Okay, we'll now call Brian for his management discussion and analysis.
Good evening, everyone. 2020. What can we say about this past year? Well, it was somewhat like spring on the prairies where we could experience all the seasons in one day. 2020 wasn't much different in the world of Churchbridge Credit Union. Pandemic, management change, economy struggles, which included major drops in interest rates, you name it, it likely happened. But all in all, the credit union had a pretty decent year. I won't cover all the details of the management discussion and analysis, but I will highlight some of the key areas or changes from the past year. For those of you who love all those intricate details, our annual report is available on our website under the About Us section. We might have a few paper copies kicking around the branch, though I would encourage you to review the electronic version in light of the ongoing pandemic. In 2020, our focus was on 5 key areas, and everything we do revolves around these items. The focus areas are financials, so this is a key one as we must maintain and build our financial strength to support our managed growth. Without this, we may find funding our strategic priorities difficult or impossible. Community. This is being a leader in our communities through investment and community support. Members is 3, and we continue to increase the depth of our member relationships, which help us meet our members' needs, both current and emerging. Internal business is 4, and this is having efficient and relevant member-focused processes. This is simply having the technology and processes that are cost effective and provide the greatest benefit to all the parties involved. And our final one is people and culture. We strive to attract and retain member-focused people that align with our culture. This extends from employees to management and to the board. Our financial statements. So we ended the year with total credit union assets just over $194 million. Our off-book or mutual funds ended the year at $34.4 million. With that, our total asset base, both on and off-book at year-end, was $228.4 million. This is an increase of 7.9% over last year. Our loan portfolio, which is the bulk of our assets, ended the year at $144.2 million. With the pandemic, it was of no surprise that loan requests were less than 2019. However, we still managed to have a 5.09% increase over last year. Our over 90-day delinquency did increase slightly from 2019 to end the year at 0.42%. Again, this is still a very strong number considering the curveball 2020 threw at everyone. Deposit growth was much stronger than expected. We ended the year with member deposits being at $176.7 million, which is an increase of 8.24% over 2019. With the pandemic, saving money, whether planned or not, did happen. Additionally, there have been a few government support programs because of the pandemic, which added to deposits. Our off-book mutual fund portfolio grew by 7.21%. Within the annual report, there are also some graphs that show the loan and deposit breakdown between the branches. So our income before member profit share was just over $1.4 million. Our board declared a $445,000 member profit sharing dividend, which left just over $1 million back into retained earnings. We are pleased to have been paying out member profit share dividends for the last 21 years. This has totaled to over $6.14 million back to our members. Our capital. So the financial services sector is highly regulated and there are key expectations around equity levels. One of those key equity items is called risk-weighted assets, or RWA for short. And that is simply the credit union's assets or off-balance sheet exposures weighted according to risk. The regulatory RWA is 10.5% and our board targets are 12 to 15%. We ended the year at 16.56%, which is up 0.07% over last year. We also conduct an internal capital adequacy assessment process, or ICAP, which helps us identify all material risks faced by the credit union and assesses the impact those risks may have on our regulatory capital. By setting aside sufficient capital to absorb the financial impact of these risks, it will help ensure our long-term viability. We are also above this guideline, but further work will be done in 2021 to review this process and the ideal capital level. The leverage ratio is an additional safeguard by supplementing the risk-based capital measure. This ratio excludes items like goodwill and other intangibles or off-balance sheet exposures. We are currently exceeding all regulatory expectations and our policy set expectations. For those of you interested in those extra details, again, the annual report will have that information. We're pleased with our final year-end results as Churchbridge Credit Union. We made a decent bottom line, we remain compliant in all areas, and have been weathering the ongoing pandemic challenges and still meeting your needs. I would like to thank the membership, the staff, and the board for all their support since my start date in 2020. We look forward to serving the members for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. And again, if you have any questions, please just put them into the chat and we'll answer them in the question period. We'll now call on Mandy Price of Baker Tilly to give us the auditor's report. And as you're listening, if you have any questions, again, please just put them in chat.
Hello, my name is Mandy Price, and I'm a principal at Baker Tilly SK LLP. Our firm was engaged to provide an audit of the financial statements of the Churchbridge Credit Union for 2020, as appointed by the members at last year's AGM. The purpose of the audit engagement was to provide an opinion on the financial statements. The completeness and accuracy of the financial statements themselves are the responsibility of management as overseen by the board of directors. Our responsibility is to provide an opinion whether or not the financial statements are a fair presentation of the finances of the credit union. We do this through obtaining an understanding of the operating environment and processes of the credit union, determining where misstatements may arise, and performing audit procedures to build a sufficient amount of evidence to support our audit conclusion. You will find these summary financial statements in the last few pages of the annual report, with the report of the independent auditors on the summary financial statements immediately preceding. You will also see the report of the independent auditors on the financial summary statements on the screen in front of you. The full set of financial statements and related audit report have not been included in this annual report, but rather a summary consisting of the first 4 pages of those full statements. In our report on the summary financial statements, you can see we have stated that the accompanying summary financial statements are a fair summary of the full audited financial statements. We also identify that we expressed an unmodified audit opinion on the full financial statements. Be advised, the audit report on the full financial statements contains more information with regards to the nature of audit and the split of responsibilities between management, the board of directors, and the auditor as they relate to the financial reporting process.
We'll now ask the presentation of the financial statements.
The first 4 pages of the summary financial statements are exact duplicates of the same 4 statements that are included in the full set of financial statements. The primary difference between the summary financial statements and the full financial statements are that the full financial statements contain a robust set of disclosure notes. The notes are 38 pages long and contain information with regards to the Churchbridge Credit Union's selected accounting policies, risk management policies, and other details and explanatory comments of the various balances and line items within these schedules. The management discussion and analysis within the annual report has already contained an overview of the highlight of the financial performance this year. As such, I will use my time to provide a general explanation of what each of the statements within these summary financial statements is attempting to communicate. You'll see in front of you the statement of financial position. This is a snapshot of the finances of the credit union at a specific point in time, being the end of the day at year end, December 31st, 2020. This schedule discloses what the credit union had, being its assets, what it owed, being its liabilities, and equity, being the net of the two. The credit union's total assets at year end were just over $194 million, the bulk of which was made up of the loan portfolio at $144 million and its investment portfolio at $45 million. The total liabilities at year end were just under $181 million, most of which was the member deposits of $176 million. Net equity at the end of the year was $13.2 million. This is the statement of income and comprehensive income. This statement discloses the sum total of the various incomes and expenses for the 12 months ending December 31st, 2020. Net income in 2020 was just over $1 million, which is net of the patronage allocation of $445,000 that was declared in relation to the 2020 operating year. The statement of changes in equity identifies the fact that the net income for the year has been added to the credit union's retained earnings. The cash flow statement provides a summary of cash sources and uses throughout the year. The notes to the summary financial statements discloses the criteria that were used to prepare these summary financial statements, identifies that a full set of disclosure notes does exist, and the fact that the full financial statements containing those notes may be obtained through the Churchbridge branch.
Boy. Sorry about that. Sometimes your fingers get in the wrong spots. I'd like to now call on somebody to make a motion to accept the reports. Again, please use the chat feature. Somebody doing it? Kendra, should we have somebody to second that, please? Anna? Thank you. If you are opposed, please raise your hand. Seeing no hands raised, the motion is carried. I now ask for somebody to appoint the auditors. Again, please use the chat feature. Thank you, Janessa. Somebody please second that. Thank you, Jennifer. You're opposed, please raise your hand. Seeing no hands, it's carried. We'll now move on to the election report. I'm sure many of you are anxiously waiting to hear this.
Members who put their name forward for nomination, all were excellent candidates. We had 126 members vote. Thank you, members, for taking an interest. Congratulations to
So welcome, and Marilyn, and we look forward to working with both of you, and we hope that that we will have some very interesting and informative meetings. We now need a motion to destroy the ballots. Again, please use the chat feature. Thank you, Brenda. We have someone to second that, please. Thank you, Kendra. If you are opposed, please raise your hand. Seeing no hands raised, that motion is carried. Now it's time to present Longtime Service Awards. We only have 2 Longtime Service Award presentations this evening. One is to Tara Lauer for 10 years, 5 years. Oh, I thought she'd been here longer. And the other is to Ryan for 20 years in the credit union system. I wanted to add a 5 on there, but
Today we acknowledge Tara Lauber as she celebrates her 5 years of service with the Churchbridge Credit Union. It's honestly hard to believe that she's only been here for 5 years. It seems a little bit longer, as she's had many roles in a shorter period of time. She originally started as a casual MSR, working in all 3 branches. Then for 2 years, Tara worked as office assistant in the Churchbridge branch. In 2016, the executive assistant position was added to her role. And in 2019, she moved into the support services department as the support services assistant. Prior to coming to our department, Tara wasn't overly sure what all our department did. She was quick to find out that there is never a dull moment. We could plan everything we want, but it can all change in the blink of an eye. 2020 was a true example of that. We had so many events planned throughout the year, and just like that, it was all gone. Tara assists with the marketing, I create, and she does all the tinkering, making it all show worthy, training of staff, and works closely with the board of directors. Tara's had a few memorable moments with the Churchbridge Credit Union, including seeing a GM transition, working from a folding table during a renovation, and working from home during a pandemic. She takes great pride in the amount of community support we give, working with the different organizations through volunteering, grants, and donations. We love our community, and it shows. One of her favorite volunteering experiences was working at the McNutt Kings hockey tournament. She laughed so hard, her cheeks hurt by the end of the night. It's always entertaining volunteering in McNutt. Thank you, Tara, for your 5 years of contributions to the Churchbridge Credit Union. You're a valuable member of the team and our big credit union family. Looking forward to working many more years with you. Congratulations.
I am pleased to recognize Ryan Tebbett's 20 years with the credit union system. Although Ryan has only been with Churchbridge Credit Union for almost a year, he has been in the system for 20 years. He started out in lending and took on progressing roles to lead him to the CEO position. Ryan says in his pre-credit union life, he managed a business in Calgary and worked in construction and auto body. The auto body job explains his interest in restoring vehicles. Although Ryan is new here, he has met some of the staff over the years at many credit union system events. He has always been impressed with how upbeat Churchbridge Credit Union was. He is excited to be part of the organization here. He is impressed with how knowledgeable everyone is and the willingness to help someone, whether it is credit union, business, or something else. COVID has limited his access to members and volunteering opportunities, but he does enjoy working with the members he has met. The drive-in movie night was a great opportunity to meet members and work with Legacy Co-op. Ryan takes pride in helping members improve their financial situations. He likes to see the progression of members paying interest to the credit union through loans to the credit union paying interest to the members on their deposits. Ryan enjoys his visits to the Langeberg branch. They keep him on his toes with their pranks of trying to scare him with some kind of fake, creepy crawly. Congratulations, Ryan.
Okay, so now we are the congratulations both to Tara and Ryan. And that just about winds up our evening. We have question period. If you have a question you'd like to ask, please use the chat feature and we'll wait a few minutes for any responses in there. It does take time to type things in. And of course, when you're waiting to see and there's silence, it always seems like a very long time. Hearing no further questions or seeing no further questions, door prizes, all people who attended virtually this evening will be entered to receive a door prize, and we will contact you sometime in the near future. It won't be this evening, even though it says after the meeting. And I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you for sitting in this evening. Have a good evening.